To the people who are watching this video, yes, you, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it, and I also appreciate if you hit that subscribe button and the like button as well, and also the notification bell, so that way you can receive a notification whenever I drop new videos. Today's video is simply about the plant haul that I just did this weekend, y'all. And let me tell you, I was able to pick up some very beautiful plants here, and they were all discounted. Yes, they were all discounted. Where I'm from in Wisconsin, at the end of the summer, in, let's say, like September, most stores actually discount the plants because it's the end of season, and you know, most of the plants are dying, damaged, or half dead. And I wouldn't even call them damaged. I would say a lot of these plants actually do have imperfections, as you will see as we go along the video. However, just because they have imperfections does not mean that they didn't deserve to come home. They are all very beautiful, and I figured that I'd be able to nurse these plants back to health, actually. And the cheapest plant that I was able to grab here was 93 cents. So keep watching till the end of the video, and you'll be able to see which plant I got for 93 cents here today. All right, now this particular plant here is an elephant ear, and it is particularly a blue Hawaii elephant ear. And it's called a blue Hawaii elephant ear because of the color. So as you can see, it has like this purplish hue to it, purplish or burgundy hue. It does have some imperfections, and this plant was on sale. Even though it does have imperfections, it still deserves to come home, so hopefully we can nurse it back to health. But this plant was originally $44.99, and I bought this plant for $11. So it was a steal. I couldn't pass it up. Quick story, I was in Home Depot looking for discounted plants, and I ran into a guy named Nick, and he actually told me to go to the Stein's Garden Center where I could find these beautiful plants. And I went, and lo and behold, I was able to find one. So thank you so much, Nick, for that great recommendation. Now I have a beautiful blue Hawaii elephant ear to take care of. I have never had a plant like this before, so this would be new for me, and hopefully you all can join me along the journey as I take care of this plant for the first time. So moving along, this plant here is in the DRACEANA family, or I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it. DRACEANA, whatever it is, it's in that family. And this plant is very beautiful. I really love the style of this plant. It has just so much character. As you see, you have this really rich green color with burgundy edges along the plant. And I want to give you a closer look so that way you're able to see the details. But this plant is very beautiful. I literally just brought it home from the plant store, so I do need to still wipe the leaves off, repot it, and things of that nature. But this plant I bought for $4.98. This plant here is also in the DRACEANA family. As we know by now, I cannot pronounce it, so please don't judge me. But this particular DRACEANA looks more like a corn plant, so that would be the nickname for this particular plant. Either way, I love it. It does have a few imperfections from the store. It looks like it may have received maybe too much light or not enough water or something like that. As you see, some of the edges they look burnt, but we're gonna nurse it back to health. Still deserve to come home. Still a very beautiful plant. I love the color. The green is just very vibrant. And yeah, we're gonna name it pretty soon and repot it. And this plant here I purchased for $4.93. This plant here is called a white birds of paradise. And as you see, this plant also has a few imperfections. However, we are going to nurse it back to health. And this particular plant I got at Home Depot. It was originally priced at $12.98. I did not know this plant was on sale, so when I went to self-checkout and rang the plant up, it came out to only $3. So it was a pleasant surprise. It probably was the best thing that happened to me all weekend. And yes, very beautiful plant. As you see, the leaves are curling. You do have a yellow leaf here, but the leaves are curling, and that could be either to poor lighting conditions, poor watering conditions, or poor humidity. So it could be a few reasons as to why the leaves are curling, but either way, very beautiful plant. We are going to nurse this plant back to health, and I am excited to see this plant grow and bloom in the next few years to come. This plant here is also in the DRACEANA family. I believe it may be called a red edge dragon tree or dragon plant or something of that nature, but it is in the DRACEANA family. And very, very beautiful. I love these plants. These are my favorite plants. Well, all plants are my favorite plants, but one of my favorite types of plants. And as you can see, the color is just beautiful. The color has like these red edges with white. And in the pot, there's actually 3 separate plants in one pot. And this plant was originally, I believe, $12.98 if I'm not mistaken. But I got this plant on sale for $3 from Home Depot. So that was a steal, and I was very, very excited. It was also a great thing that happened to me this weekend. But again, take another look at the color. Not only do you have these red edges, but there's red and white edges on this plant. So it was very beautiful, and it stood out to me. It had to come home. This plant isn't damaged too bad, but I did a side-by-side between the other DRACEANA and this DRACEANA, so that way you can see the difference in the color. This one is just strictly green and red, as opposed to the other one, it has green, red, and white. So DRACEANAs have many different variations, and these two are just gorgeous. This here is a ficus, and you know ficuses also come in hundreds of different variations. However, this plant was pretty bad. Before I decided to record, there were a lot of like brown and burnt leaves around the stem. As you can see, the stem looks very, very like burnt and dried. There were a lot of brown leaves in those areas. So I actually did pick the brown leaves off. However, you can see that this plant was in a pretty bad condition. It looks like it may have gotten way too much sunlight, and maybe not enough water as well. But this plant was $10. It looks like it was a different price at first. Then it was on sale for $10, but I got this plant for about $2.83. So beautiful. When I picked off some of the brown leaves there at the top, I peeled them back, and you can see these green buds starting to grow there as well. So when I say plants that look like they're maybe in bad condition or they may be dying, a lot of times they just need a little bit of TLC because they still have life left. But you can still see there are very small buds there, and those are areas where I actually picked off some of the brown leaves. So I'm glad I was able to do that, because that's going to make a lot of room for new growth. And these ficuses in particular, they can get very, very big. They can grow very tall. So I'd be excited to see how tall this ficus gets as well in the next few years to come. This plant here is a fern. This one also had a lot of brown dead leaves that I picked off before I decided to record. So I wish I would have recorded that first, but either way, this plant needs a lot of water. This one looks like it was an original price at first. It was discounted to $6.99 and then discounted again to $1.93. So we bought this plant for under $2. Still very beautiful and has a lot of life left. It just needs water. Now the nickname for this plant here is called a snow white waffle plant. And as you can see, this plant was very neglected. It looks like it may have had way too much sun and not enough water at all. Before I decided to record, I decided to water the plant a bit because at the store it was just very, very, very dry. And even though the plant was severely neglected, there is a lot of new life left. As you can see, the baby leaves there that are starting to sprout. So there is still life left in this plant. So I decided to purchase it. And this was the cheapest find of the day, and I purchased this plant for 93 cents. And this plant is just very beautiful and very gorgeous. You can tell that once I give it some tender love and care, that it is going to grow into a very beautiful plant. It was originally $4.99, but I got the plant for 93 cents. So that was the steal of the day. And here are all of the beautiful plants that I was able to catch on my plant haul for today. Very, very beautiful plants. I love the color of each and every one of them. I love each and every one of them individually. I cannot wait to name them. I cannot wait to repot them and to see how healthy they get within the next few months to a year. So I'd love for you to join this journey with me. And if we add up the total, I spent a total of about $32 on all of the plants as a collective. So that was a pretty great deal, being as the blue Hawaii elephant's ear alone was $44.99, and here I was able to bring home 8 beautiful plant babies for $32. This is about $100 worth of plants right here, so that is a great deal. And just keep in mind that during these last few months of summer, some of these stores actually have plant sales, so it's the perfect time to purchase plants. But thank you so much for joining me. Please make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and stay tuned for my next coming up videos.